Welcome! This is episode 36 of the NgoVo Convo podcast, where two stupids make a hype, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Today
it's
is
right
a both.
To be hyped today.
Yeah. Very hype. I'm one of your hosts, Veronica Vo, and I'm joined by Harrison No. If you're new here, we both just wanted an excuse to talk about anything that ranged from anime to comics. So I would say it's conversing.
NgoVo Convo, NgoVo Convo.
Wow, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
Do you know why else we do this podcast?
Well,
Harrison?
Veronica, we do have this one friend that doesn't always stay up to date and needs to catch up on a lot of things. But this time he went to go with us this time, so he's technically not behind.
Yeah. He's forgiven. All is forgiven today. Sort of.
He has a blank slate today.
Just today. You can watch every episode on youtube.com or listen to it as a podcast by searching NgoVo Convo, NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice. We're on 10 different platforms. Search us up anywhere, everywhere.
If we're not on something, let us know. Yeah.
Yeah. Just let us know.
We'll slap that on.
In this episode, if you don't know the title, you don't see the title, we are going to be talking about Spider-Man: No Way Home. So, we highly encourage you to watch the movie.
You should go watch this movie.
Do not go on the internet. Don't go on TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, whatever you use to get all your information about Marvel, MCU. Stay off of it. Go watch the movie. Pause right here. I'm being so serious on this one. You pause right here.
You pause. You stop right now.
You stop right here.
You click that like button to save this video.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's how I do it.
Yeah, that's how I do it too.
And if I don't like it, I just unlike it.
Also,
anyway.
before we get into the episode, we are sponsored by Anchor, which we will get into later, as always. Stay tuned. Okay, there's a lot to unpack in this movie. So, before we dive straight into this, Harrison, non-spoiler thoughts.
Go watch this movie. 100%. Just go watch this freaking movie, all right? I don't even think it matters if you like comics or anything. I think everyone understands Spider-Man as a character to some point. You've seen the two other iterations. Like this is just trying to say, like, I think this is the culmination of like a good Spider-Man movie. If anything, this is the best Spider-Man movie in my opinion right now, but this is also me talking off the high of seeing it last night.
Yeah. So we saw it Thursday night opening.
Yeah.
And we're recording it the next day, and then you're seeing this episode on Monday, the following Monday.
Yes.
That's how this timeline works.
We are we're speedrunning this. But I highly recommend everyone to go watch this. This is definitely one of my top 3 MCU movies now. 100%. It's still kind of like, I don't know if it's my number 1 yet, but it is definitely up there.
It's up there.
Now.
It's up
there now for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
No, I totally agree. Everyone, I don't care if you can't understand Marvel.
You'll get it.
You'll get it.
And I think I heard this from somewhere, or someone said it, and I think my best explanation is it's a Saturday morning cartoon done well. It's as if you were watching an animated, like, it's as if you were watching the Spider-Man animated series on Saturday morning, but live. It's like live. And it just has like that cartoony feel. It's like, it has the pacing right. It's got Peter Parker down, like everything.
It's good.
It's very good. I don't want to say too much as a non-spoiler thing.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you? Wait, what about you though?
I thought it was really good. There was a lot of screaming, so this morning my voice was not there.
Yep.
Yep. I fell out of my seat twice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I think my brother said he hurt his wrist because he was clapping so much when it hit his wrist by accident. And I'm like, bro.
Yeah. There was a lot of screaming. The downfall to everyone screaming in the theater was that you could not hear some of the dialogue.
Yeah.
But you know what? I did not care.
I would actually rewatch this. I would actually go to rewatch this movie.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't
100%.
usually like rewatching stuff, but this is one of the few times I actually
next month when people stop screaming.
Yes.
I'll rewatch this next month. We can go next month.
Let's go.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed this. You don't have to fully understand the MCU universe. Like, as long as you know Spider-Man and you know some of the villains, you catch on pretty quickly. It's just one of those movies where it's like you can dive in here. If you understand the little jokes that they make, that's even better. Yeah. Or if you know any of like the Easter eggs, that's even better.
But otherwise, it and I will say yes for anyone that does watch. It is kind of, it's not super catered, but it is definitely like heavily catered. When I keep trying to. If you know a lot of Spider-Man stuff, there's a lot of like references and all this stuff. It's not as bad as like not knowing MCU stuff. Period. I think. Yeah. I think people will get it.
You just need to know Spider-Man.
But I think like super hardcore fans will super appreciate this. But I think it's still a fun film for everyone to watch. No matter what. Obviously, watch the first 3. Like
yeah, just to like understand.
There is going to be some things that like allude to classic MCU stuff. It still alludes to certain things, but it's still good.
Still continuous with the MCU timeline. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if you're still with us because you're stubborn, I highly suggest you pause right here because we are going to get into the movie. We're going to unpack everything. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay, so pause right here. Like this video. Go watch the movie. Come back, unpause, listen to us. That's all I'm going to say. But if you continue, I'm going to let you know.
Heavy spoilers.
Heavy spoilers.
We're talking
and we don't like mean it. Like we actually mean it today. We mean it. I mean it. Okay, so did you notice when this movie started?
Hey yo. Is what? It spoilers now?
Yeah. Now. Okay, spoilers right here. I'm gonna let you know. Did you notice when this movie started that it was like a blank like screen? Is practically blank, and then it went into like the Marvel logo. It didn't have like a scene.
No, I didn't notice this. Wait, no, I didn't notice this.
Yeah, it was like was basically a black screen, like the logo of.
I was gonna say the waiter was kind of there was a waiter in front, so I was kind of like
that waiter was big.
He was a big man.
He was a big man. But yeah, it was like, it wasn't the typical Marvel start of a movie where you see like, you do like the prelude, like action scene or something. Yeah. And then like goes into the Marvel logo. But it was just like kind of like pitch black.
And then it like leads into it.
It leads into it. I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, okay. We're starting this off like this.
Yeah, I did not notice that actually.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, so this movie left off from Far From Home, which is the second movie. Yes. Basically, Peter Parker is revealed as Spider-Man to the world. The boy's famous.
Boy's famous.
Boy. Yeah, high school boy's famous. I love J.K. Simmons. That man is great.
They went in hard. They went in hard on his character this time, and I think it was good. It was really good. Like, I was really annoyed, and I was like, wait, no, this is J. Jonah Jameson. Like, no.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, JJ's this way, and I forgot, like, how annoying he is. And if anything, it's just more a modern take, because it's like, oh, he does everything, like, news anchor style and everything and all that. It's not just
and it's great that he was in the other trilogies, too.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's great. Basically, he's calling Peter a killer. The whole Mysterio issue in the last movie. But yeah, we won't go over the last movie, but Peter's revealed. Peter equals Spider-Man. That is it. Yeah. The world knows him as Spider-Man.
Now his life just turned upside down because it's like it's typical paparazzi stuff.
Yeah.
Except like probably like on a worldwide scale because it's Spider-Man, right? Or it's a superhero.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool to see him and MJ swing through the city.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
It was really cool. It was super cute because it was like, oh, they like him and Ned just like on the phone like do.
Yeah.
But you realize she's on. Or they're on a bit like a bridge, and she's like, dude, I'm gonna fall off.
I thought it was really cute. Yeah. They were just swinging to the bridge and then swinging home, and I was like, okay, don't swing anywhere else. Just go home. And while that's happening, his Aunt May and Happy broke up, and I was just like, oh,
I was like, oh yeah, they're a thing.
they're
I forgot.
a thing. I forgot.
But no,
Yeah.
they're just a fling. Remember?
Oh yeah, they're just a fling.
It's
That's
just a
it.
fling.
It's just a fling. I was very curious as to how Peter was going to deal with being like a famous superhero, like someone that has like both identities revealed to the world.
Mm-hmm.
I thought,
Yeah.
I don't know, because he's still a kid. Because you gotta think about it, he's a 17-year-old high school kid. Like, how are you gonna deal with that?
I mean, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. I just found it really funny that he was in his boxers when Aunt May opened the door. And
Oh no, it looked like MJ.
MJ was just like, here you go.
Oh, it's. I heard something about protection. I was like,
use protection or something.
Yeah, it was just really funny.
It was really funny.
Anyway, but small details. That's nothing important.
Yeah, the important part is that Flash is his best friend.
Man, it's just funny to see. Oh, and this is when like I guess there's the whole like now people are like, oh, because Mysterio said that, oh, Spider-Man is essentially the one that killed him.
Yeah, with all the drones. Because it's like
I forgot about the drones and everything.
Yeah, because the drones are part of Stark, and then Spider-Man's like connected to Iron Man because of the whole Avengers thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he got arrested, yada yada, with the FBI. But Harrison, he got arrested, right?
Yeah.
What do you need?
They needed to lawyer up.
Lawyer up.
They said not to say anything and need to lawyer up.
Who could it be?
Bro, when the cane moved, when the cane moved and he sat down, our theater blew up.
100%.
That was the first one where everyone blew up and like started cheering. Again, this is what I miss about midnight premieres. Was this experience. Like, this is not what you can't get this with like, yes, I'm a lazy person and I want to sit down and just watch it on my TV, but you don't get this reaction.
Oh yeah.
When Matt fucking Murdock sits down in the chair and he's Peter's lawyer. That's
you can't beat that. I saw how it pans is that it pans straight to his hand with the cane.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a drop.
Yeah.
And he sits down.
And he's like saying, like he's talking on the phone.
Hey Peter, yada yada yada. I was like, oh my god, it's Daredevil. I mean, it's Matt Murdock.
It was so good.
I found it hilarious because I did not hear the dialogue after.
No, yeah, I didn't hear.
But basically, Matt Murdock said that the charges would not stick to Peter. That's all he said. Like, basically.
Yeah.
What I found funny was that the actor, Happy, the actor, was in the original Daredevil, Ben Affleck. And so when Happy and Matt were talking, and Matt told Happy that he needed to lawyer up, it was just really funny because I caught that, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I need a lawyer. I need a good lawyer too." And I was like, "Oh, but you were Daredevil's best friend in the old
one." Yes,
so
that's right.
Because
really
he was.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I know. I think it was just more like I was in shock. I was in shock.
We were in shock.
But also trying to figure out what they were saying because people were freaking out.
Yeah, I know people were freaking out, which is great. I mean, I would rewatch this movie, like I said earlier. Yeah,
no problem.
I think the thing that caught me was that we both knew Matt Murdock is Daredevil. Like, our row knew. Like, our people knew. But seeing him catch the brick and then you pan to see Peter's like, what was that? How did you do that?
How did you do that? And because it legit something, because what was it? It was pedestrian that threw in a brick.
That threw a brick, yeah.
Mysterio
You're a killer.
was right or something.
Yeah, something.
But like Matt, like straight up just like, because Peter was ready to catch it too.
Oh yeah, Peter was just ready.
But then all of a sudden you
just
see this blind man catch it, and it's like, huh?
And then Peter's just like this high school kid. He was like, "How do you do that?"
I'm a good lawyer.
I know. Matt's like, "I'm just a really good lawyer." I think everyone freaked out because they were like, "Oh, he has senses too."
I'm a great lawyer. I'm a great lawyer. That's what it was. Oh, that was the first big like. Okay. Did you know that was gonna pop?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
I had no idea. Did you?
So, my brother leaked it. He's like, he showed me something, but this was months ago. So that's the
okay.
thing. It's one of those like, oh, he was seen walking off the set, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but you never know. But then my brother was like, it's probably Photoshop. There's no way.
Yeah.
Because this was when like no one knew like Matt Murdock or that he was going to reprise the role of Matt Murdock.
Yeah. Kevin. Oh, Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one knew. But then Kevin last week confirmed it. And I was like, that's kind of weird to confirm very close to the movie. So that's why I didn't say anything. I didn't want to like hype myself up.
No, I did not know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, me and my brother knew, but it still freaked me out because it's so surreal to see it because you're like, you never know until like it actually happens.
In the MCU. Like, he is in it. He's in it.
Can I also just, non-spoiler, I watched Hawkeye at a very good time.
You sure did.
They dropped that episode for Hawkeye at a very good time.
They knew what they were doing this week.
They knew.
I mean, we'll talk about Hawkeye next week, but they knew.
Yes.
They knew.
We'll go into detail.
We'll go into details. So, Easter egg is that Daredevil's back and official in the MCU, and Charlie Cox is being Daredevil, Matt Murdock again,
doing Daredevil things, and I'm okay with that.
Things.
All right.
I freaked the fuck out of that.
But
anyway.
Essentially, yeah, that was kind of like because it's kind of hard to say like the movie was because I thought the movie was broken up into 3 acts for sure. But it did feel like there was 4. I don't know.
4? I know.
Right? You right? Okay.
I mean, we're talking about it in 3, but I'm just like, oh, we could split it.
But it felt like 4.
4, yeah. No, I understand.
But I think I think it was a good part because now it's essentially Peter's technically in the clear legally.
Yeah, legally.
But his life is still turned upside down.
Yeah, exactly. He still has to deal with being like this famous superhero. He gets this
dealing with getting into college.
Oh yeah,
that's it. Like that. Like him, MJ, and Ned are just trying to get into college.
MIT. They want to go to MIT.
They want to go to MIT, but that was the whole thing where like, I think they just couldn't get in
because of him,
because association.
Of yeah,
which is really sad.
Yeah, and then Peter. Everyone knows Doctor Strange. Everyone should know Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, just to say like they didn't get into MIT specifically. Yeah, this was like a very somber moment, and it was weird because I was like, I remember having to deal with that. I don't miss that.
I know, right? It's a bad feeling. Did not enjoy that. But yeah, then Peter goes to Doctor Strange. He proposes that he wants to like change back time so that he wasn't revealed. I think, right?
Yeah, he just wanted to see if Doctor Strange can go back in time and prevent Mysterio from revealing.
Okay, yeah. But you know, knowing that what Peter just spit out, what we know as an audience that the if you watch Loki, if you watch WandaVision, if you watch What If, that when you change time, there are consequences to those actions.
What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
I just named 3 shows that just screwed up the multiverse and timeline. And what I forgot was that Strange didn't have the time stone anymore. I like completely forgot until he like
because he's synonymous with the amulet.
Yeah.
But or whatever it's called. I forgot what it's officially called. But yeah, but the time stone. But yeah, Thanos. That thing.
Yeah.
So obviously
Thanos,
he doesn't have it.
Yeah. This is post blip, obviously.
Yeah. Can I also sidebar? I think it's really funny how Doctor Strange is not the Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh yeah.
Off of technicality, because he got blipped.
Well, he got blipped.
So then Wong becomes Sorcerer Supreme. It was weird because I was kind of. I guess they have some sort of rule system. They might explain it later in his movie. I thought it was weird how I thought he would just be like intermediary, but then Doctor Strange is obviously Sorcerer Supreme. So I thought he would just get the title back, but apparently not.
No.
So that was weird.
Wong is like, don't do anything stupid. Because Strange proposes to do this like spell for Peter to
this memory spell.
Memory spell, yeah. And Wong is like, do it, but leave me out of it, and then he just dips. That's it.
No, it was like, this could be bad. He's like, and Doctor Strange was like, we've done this for more trivial things before. Do you remember this party? And Wong's like, no, exactly. I was like, dang. What party?
Good. What party? But yeah, it's nice to see the runes whenever Strange did the spell, because they're the same ones as WandaVision in the last episode. It was really cool to see.
Oh.
Yeah, they're same. I googled it. They're kind of like the same like runes. I could safely go on the internet again last night.
Right? I actually started like searching up stuff like last
Yeah.
night, like immediately after when we got home.
I know. I was like, oh. Okay, anyway. So another thing that just reminds the audience that Peter is like a 17-year-old boy is that he keeps changing his freaking mind.
Well, it's obviously like, it's like, oh yeah, younger people don't think that far ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then he's like, oh yeah, I want to erase everyone's memory of me. Oh wait, but I want MJ to remember. Oh wait.
And then, May.
May.
Oh wait, yeah.
Ned. Happy? Oh.
Yeah. So it's really funny because Strange was like doing his little magic thing.
He's like, but he's like resetting it.
Yeah, he's like resetting it every time. And you can see like every time he resets it, like there's a new line that is being created. Yeah. And then finally, like a 17-year-old boy, he just blurts out this final thing and then just like erupts. Like the whole thing just erupts.
Dr. Strange, be quiet! It's the most Peter Parker thing that could happen.
It really is. And it's really just so funny because he's like, yes, sir. Okay, sir. That's fine, sir.
Call me Steven. No, call me sir.
Yeah. Their dynamic is like really funny.
Yeah,
it was like the mentor-mentee type deal. That's how I felt about like it was in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wraps up like the first
somewhat the first
part one. Because
now the bad's actually, because that sets up like why he's trying to like
sets up this next two parts basically.
Yeah.
So basically Strange was like fixing shit.
because now like what was it? They've realized that the spell didn't work, or he had to contain the spell.
He could contain it, put it in a box because it didn't work. Because Peter, being a 17-year-old boy, kept changing his mind.
I love this because then all of a sudden Doctor Strange is like, I'm sorry it didn't work out. And especially since you already talked to the admissions council that you already tried to persuade them and it didn't work. It is what it is. And Peter's like, you can call them. And I was like, that's like the most like millennial Gen Z thing ever. Because even I was like, oh yeah, you could call them.
Yeah.
I would not have thought. I would not have thought of calling them too. And I'm like, ooh, that would have been. Yeah. Ooh, that's a better idea. And Dr. Strange was like, you didn't call them, and he's like, no. Gets kicked out.
It's so funny. It's because Dr. Strange has, he's an actual MD doctor, so he's like, what? You didn't call them? You didn't do this? You didn't do that?
Typical like high schooler thing. Yeah. Didn't even think about it. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have done it either.
I know, right?
But this leads into
like a whole other mess that's like the middle chunk of this movie. So, after the bright idea of Strange telling him to go to the admissions office, he calls Flash. He's like, hey, who's the admissions like lady or person? He promises Flash that he's gonna tell everyone that they can be best friends. They're besties for life, apparently. Because he really wants Ned and MJ to go to MIT. He doesn't really care about himself. That's like the whole issue, I guess, or situation that he wants to fix.
Because he's like, he feels bad at that it's just by association. Yeah.
So I forgot that his suit, like his nano suit, kind of
goes over whatever, and then like I totally forgot. It's been a while since I've seen him in the nano suit. I was like, oh, that's how he does it. Yeah. And because he's trying to find the admissions lady, because Flash tells him how to find her, then he goes on a bridge because he finds out that she's the car
on her way to the airport.
On the plane. Yeah, on the way to the plane or airport.
He stalks her on this highway.
He suits himself. Yeah. In his suit. These suits, but it goes into a normal suit. And tries to talk to her on the bridge. And she's like, you realize you're on a bridge, right? He's like,
very not normal.
Yeah. So he's trying to like convince her and everything about MJ and Ned.
Yeah. But
then
then they
all of a
get
sudden-
interrupted
By what? By who?
by Doc Ock.
Man, it's still crazy to see the
It's
claws
so-
coming through.
It's been a very long time seeing that man's tentacles out like that.
It was so cool to see Alfred Molina like take this role again.
Oh,
I was just
yeah.
like, dang. It was.
I have to say the CGI for everyone, like the modern CGI for every person in this movie is great to see, because they all came from like 2002 to like 2014-15.
Yeah.
And you know how CGI is like really good right now. But yeah, you see Doc Ock, you know, they fight. They ain't bros.
Doc, that was such a cool thing to see, because now it's like this Peter versus the Doc Ock that we've known or grew up with technically.
Yeah.
Just to find out, then he just finds out this isn't his Peter. He's like, huh? Hold on.
No, it's interesting because Doc Ock realizes that this isn't his Peter Parker. Period. It's not it. Not him.
Because like he tries to like stab him, but then he like because they had the whole fight sequence, but then they got under the bridge. This is in the trailer too. Like he grabs him, but then takes off. And this is when I forgot. This is how the suit works. It can go across his body to protect him. Yeah. That's why I was like, oh, that's right. But technically, it's a lost partner because he loses a section of it.
Yeah, to Doc Ock.
Yeah.
But the funny part was that he controlled Doc Ock for a good amount of time. But yeah, so that happens. And if you don't know which movie Doc Ock's from, it's 2002. Leave it there. Yes. Spider-Man 2002. Tobey Maguire. Oh, yeah.
But then who else comes in?
But then the famous Green Goblin comes in.
The Green Elf?
Yeah, the Green Elf. As Peter would love to say.
Later on he says that. But yeah, Green Goblin, the laugh, the bombs.
The laugh. William still has it. Still
William
at
Dafoe is still terrifying.
He
still creepy as hell.
It's been 20 plus years and that man still terrifies me too. Even in this movie.
Yep,
it's scary. Yeah.
But Doc, because Doc Ock recognizes him. Yeah. Right, at some point. Because I didn't notice that, but I guess I didn't hear that. I think people were freaking out. About like
about everything.
Yeah.
That's about to happen in this like part. But yeah, and then it kind of like the cool thing is that he was fighting Green Goblin, or about to, and then like it kind of like fades,
and it fades,
He
gets teleported.
Yeah, he gets teleported by.
I didn't register that, but I was like, okay, I think it just happened. Yeah. But it was like a fade on the screen too. So it was really
it was a fade, and it was I don't know if it was because of the lighting, but it was really dark. When
it was really
fading.
Dark.
Yeah,
no,
it was
like, really dark.
What happened? What's happening?
Yeah. No, it was dark.
Yeah.
And then, it was probably on purpose or not. But
yeah. And then so Doc Ock is captured, and then you see a third person come in, the little lizard guy
from the cage, because Strange has been dealing with this too.
Oh man! But I think this next fight is really cool.
Yeah, because now like
really cool.
like Doctor Strange says that Peter has to help him like capture
all the people. Basically, Strange said that people were slipped out of the spell.
Other people that know Peter's identity are coming to this universe.
Coming to him. Yeah.
Which I did not expect that as like the reason why people are going through.
Yeah, same.
Like I didn't realize that the spell. Well, I just thought that was because I remember in the trailer we're like, okay, so how are they gonna get in? Like, how did they get here?
Yeah.
And we're like, we get that the multiverse breaks, but we don't know if that's because of Loki or at the time we just didn't know. But we now know that it was a spell, and that anyone that technically knows Peter's identity would come here.
Basically,
because then they have to. Because this is where Ned and MG help, right?
Yeah, they help. And then the box has like this button because Strange is ready to send these people back to wherever they belong. And so Strange was like, capture everyone, press this button when you catch them, like put them in the cage like this.
And send them back.
And send them back, etc. Peter's like, Peter has a good heart. It's Peter Parker. He wants to help everyone.
Yep.
And then, oh wait, yeah, the fight was. Wait, Strange and Peter's fight was after capturing
way after
Green Goblin, right?
Yes, after
Okay,
they
okay,
capture
okay.
everyone. Because the next,
Yeah,
because then right now they had to start fighting. So then
Yeah.
MJ and Ned were like, "Oh,
they
we
were
found someone that's
helping.
flying around."
Yeah, yeah. So it was
They're
like Electro. He fights Electro, which is Jamie Foxx.
They didn't know it was Electra though. That was the Green Goblin.
Yeah. They did. But yeah, so Ned and MJ help Spider-Man capture the rest. It was really funny because he's like, again, you're reminded that he's 17 years old. He duct taped his phone to his chest and dyed his suit.
Wait, no. That's not. He didn't dye his suit at all.
He didn't dye his suit?
The suit was reversed.
Oh my god.
No, like I saw it, like for a split second, I noticed like he like flipped it, and that's when I was like, that's not a new suit. It was just a suit flipped and like he literally just reversed his suit inside out. So the black and yellow was the inner work. Because then you notice like if you actually see it, you'll see like there's like a lot of things like inside that are sticking out. It's really jank. So it wasn't a new suit at all. He didn't dye it or anything. It was because
Oh
it's just
God,
because his other suit got wrecked. But no, his suit was just inside out. That's it. And then also duct taped the phone to like FaceTime.
Onto his chest to FaceTime it. Oh my God, I did not catch that. Oh my God, that's so much funnier now.
I was like, you're saying that like he's doing that.
I thought he dyed it. Yeah.
No.
Oh my God.
How would he have time to dye it? No. He already asked Aunt May to like clean up his old suit because it got dirty.
It got
from,
like the
paint
green
or something.
slime paint. Yeah. Something. Yeah. Oh my God, that's actually 1000% funnier now. Holy shit. But yeah, he's like he's out there by like power grids and stuff in the forest. And then you kind of see like in the background it's like Sandman because you kind of see like him like moving around. The movements is really
I didn't realize it was Sandman. I thought it was Electro like shifting around, but no, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's like Sandman just shifting around back there. But then good old Jamie Foxx coming in hot. Coming in blue.
Hey, there's a flying man in here. It's not. Is it the last guy? No, that guy was green. This guy's blue. I was like, man, they're not wrong though. But that's like such like a. That's
it's
like the most
like a Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Way to say it. And then Electro and Peter fight, and then Sandman helps Peter fight Electro, and then Electro.
They teleport Electro back, right?
Yeah. Well, Electro's butt naked.
Oh yeah, they had to cut the power grid, and I love how like Jamie
Foxx
he gets to look like a normal
lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because
definitely he was like, are we gonna ignore the fact that I'm butt naked here? I was like, oh yeah, he is. Oops.
Yeah, sure is.
But it's funny how like he looks like a normal person. Like I say normal, but you know like how like in The Amazing One he looks very like eccentric. Like they like nerded him up. Nerded him up. Just to like have a look, but in this one he's like, oh, I get to look like this now.
I'm glad he looks like himself right now. Like really happy. But yeah, so we're missing one person as Green Lantern. Or not Green Goblin. I said Green Lantern. Wow.
What just happened, dude?
I know.
What was that?
It was a timeline. It glitched. I glitched.
You glitched. Hardcore.
Yeah, so he finds an ad about Spider-Man. He goes to Feast, which is like this homeless shelter, talks to Aunt May.
Sorry, I'm still stuck on the fact that you said Green Lantern. I was like, wow,
I know, same. It's
that
fine.
Hurts. Anyway.
I'll edit that in. I'll leave it. I love the fact that William was stealing donuts or cupcakes or whatever it was in that box.
Oh, yeah, because he, so Osborn, he's actually by himself, but then he, like, smashes the mask because he goes back to him. He goes from
he has
Green
a split
Goblin
person.
to himself.
Yeah,
he goes back to himself again.
Yeah. I thought it was just so funny.
And he goes to Aunt May. Yeah, that's right.
William's back there just like hunched.
Because they're trying to like debate on what to do with him, and he's just like.
He's like, you can just see him.
And
putting
it into his jacket. I was like, oh my gosh, this is great.
It's so funny. But yeah, I think this is the point where Peter is like, you can tell Peter wants to help them.
But he's like conflicted.
But he's really conflicted about it.
Aunt May is like, oh, you should.
Yeah, you should.
just
It's the
not.
right thing to do.
It's the
Basically,
right
what
thing
she
to do.
and she's right, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So they're all captured now. All the villains are captured. They're at Strange's place. And yeah, I just find it so funny because the other part was that Ned, MJ, and Peter, they were making fun of Doc Ock's name.
Because they're like, what? That's so out there. That's so like random. Like, or
Yeah.
it's so on the nose about like octopus. Right?
Yeah. And then he's like, who are you kids? Who are these two? Like, it was just a good dialogue moment. But yeah, but then Peter realizes he needs to fix them. He wants to fix them, at least, at this point. Then him and Strange get into this fight over the box.
Because Strange was like, this is the fight. This is the fight you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It
Strange
was so
like,
cool.
yeah.
It's trippy.
Yeah, it was trippy. Strange was like, they need to go back ASAP. They are messing up the everything.
Timeline.
Yeah, the timeline, the multiverse. They were just, it was not good.
Mhm.
But yeah, this fight was trippy, like very trippy.
It was a very Doctor Strange sequence, and I liked it a lot. I was
Yeah.
like, it felt better. I don't know why, but it felt
I
like
don't know why either.
I think it's because they spent more time in like what's that dimension called? I forgot the multiverse dimension thing that they're.
Oh, I forgot.
But they
Yeah.
spent more time
the mirror,
in it.
the mirror dimension.
The mirror dimension. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did a lot more stuff with it, like a whole sequence, and it just felt cooler and crazier.
It was crazy. It was just
But-
like it was just crazy how everything like started flipping. I enjoyed that train.
Oh, even
moment.
before that, it was funny how like Peter tried to get out and like swung
Yeah.
around, but then Strange would just make portals, and so it would like make him like lose direction and everything. It's just funny.
I thought it was such a good fight, good sequence.
I liked how they showed, because I feel like this is the issue with Tom Holland Spider-Man sometimes, is they kind of allude to, he's smart. Like this one, they're like, oh, he's smart to go to MIT, but I forget that sometimes because they don't show that he's like a super nerdy kid.
No.
Well, it's been a while since like the Homecoming and like Civil War, because that's when I think they showcase like that he's a very smart kid.
Yeah.
And then like the last few movies, of course, he's dealing with like end of the world stuff, so it makes sense. It's fine.
Yeah. And being a normal teenager, going Homecoming,
Yeah.
etc. Good stuff.
But like in this one, I think it was finally cool to see like how he legit just used math to beat Dr.
Geometry.
He used I was like
geometry.
oh, I like this. This is really cool. Yeah.
He beat out Strange.
Man.
But
now Strange
yeah.
is stuck in that dimension.
With the webs. He's stuck somewhere.
So good.
I know. But yeah, so MJ gets to keep the box.
Mhm.
Because once she hears back from Peter, she can press a button. But yeah. But before we move on to the final act, we're going to take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. On today's episode, we are sponsored by Anchor. It is a free podcast hosting service that we actually use. We've been using Anchor since we've started the podcast. It's because there are creation tools that allow us to record and edit the podcast right from our phones and computers. A huge plus for us is that Anchor would distribute our podcast to all platforms such as Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and many more. It really is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one spot. Please download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, anchor.fm to get started. Okay, hi, and we're back. Oh my god, have you missed us?
Yes.
Are you sure? Did you take a water break? Bathroom break? This is a lot to unpack. This final part, it's it. This is it. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, before I go on, did this feel like a 2-hour, 30-minute movie to you?
No.
It didn't, right?
No. Eternals did. Eternals felt very long. This one didn't feel long.
No, this one didn't feel long at all, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically what happens is that MJ keeps the box. Peter fixes
He's trying to fix each villain, right?
each person.
Because
at Happy's place.
yeah, they all like had to like hide out at Happy's place. All of them.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they're all just
All
chilling
of
there.
them. And this is like what you said earlier. This showcases how smart Peter Parker is.
This is when it does show.
This is when it shows. Because I feel like, you know, Doc Ock and Osborn, most of these villains are doctors. So they wouldn't think that this Peter Parker specifically, is like this smart. Not saying that the other two weren't. But I felt like they kind of underestimated him. They basically were like, how are you going to fix us? Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I guess so. I think it was just, I think as the audience, I have that speculation sometimes because it's just because I do feel like the Spider-Man just gets handed stuff by Tony Stark. So again, in this sequence, he is using Tony Stark tech. Yeah. Again, so but he's doing everything to like try to fix everyone. So he's smart enough to like help. But I want to add on to what you said. All these most of these villains besides Sandman are really smart. Yes. That's the thing. They were all really smart. Which I'm like, I always forget sometimes that Spider-Man's rogue rivalry, or at least in here, are in MCU version, or I guess, I don't know. In the cinematic versions, most of them are smart. Some of them comic wise is like different, but yeah, most like the big ones like Green Goblin and like Doc Ock are like scientists. They're really
scientists, yeah.
Even the Lizard.
The Lizard's
not there, but he's technically not there.
Yeah, he's in the truck. So you know they're all just gathered in this apartment trying to fix them. Peter's just like, let's just go straight into Doc Ock, fix his like little like spine thing. So you see like all of Stark's, what was the machine called again?
I forgot. Honestly.
I forgot too. Yeah, but basically they're on.
I also didn't hear. I couldn't hear it.
But... I know people were freaking out again.
Yeah,
I'm going to let you know people kept freaking out in this movie. So he's fixing, or he's about to fix Doc Ock. He fixes him. Doc Ock is like normal again. Basically normal. And then up next is...
Because they just fixed the chip, right?
Yeah. But you get to see the reactor again. Because it's in the machine. And you know who loves electricity?
Oh, Electro was eyeing that.
Electro was eyeing that shit.
It was really interesting because he's like, the energy here is different. In this universe, is different. I was like,
he kept saying that.
I never thought of it that way.
But
he kept saying that. I was like,
he
oh,
kept saying that. Yeah,
because he sensed something big there, and then that's when he's like, the reactor was there, and because he sensed it. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. So basically, Peter made Electro kind of this like the same, I don't know, like machine like thing that Iron Man had, but kind of just like attaches.
But to drain, but to like reverse.
It's like to drain, yeah. So while that's happening, it's like I don't know how Peter, his little tingly feeling here was crazy on point because
they framed it well. They framed it well too. Because I thought it was the police. Because, before the sequence, it shows JJ's there, and they're like saying, oh, we already called the cops and everything to come here, so then we can
he was ready
Peter.
To like get Peter Parker in the action.
So then I thought his senses were tingling because there was probably a bunch of danger around with the
FBI, police.
SWAT and everything.
Yeah, SWAT. The crazy thing is that his little tingly feelings out of this one was that Osborn switched his personality. That's the craziest thing to me. Like the fact that he was able,
it's so cool that his like spider sense is like that insane because like he knew at that moment like Osborn switched and he was like trying to, but it was so bad, like it was like such huge danger that he was like,
and you don't even see William's face, you see the back of his head, and then you're just like, what's going on here?
Because they're all looking at him. They're like all asking him what's up. Is he okay?
Yeah. You see, like it like tunes out everyone, which I thought was really cool because the audience could just like feel like the little like the sense,
the tension, the focus,
the tension,
and everything.
The focus. It was so cool to see just like the snap of a finger, and Osborn is just.
What was he about? I couldn't see what he was about to do because then Spider-Man webbed his hand. Or web something, and then because then Osborn or Green Goblin was like, "That's a neat trick," and then but he was trying to do.
I think he redid the potion or something because
Okay.
Aunt May went back into the room with the actual Green Goblin cure.
Yeah.
But yeah, William still scares me. I don't
when
like
he
that.
when he flipped the Green Goblin, it was
Yeah.
terrifying. I was like, this is why it was terrifying back then.
As a kid,
and it's still terrifying now. But then like they have their whole fight sequence. And I could remember, and I forgot to know like Green Goblin's that strong because I forgot he's technically chemically enhanced.
Yeah.
So,
but every time Green Goblin and Peter fought, and it showcased William's face, I was like, ooh, that's the face that got me as a kid.
Yeah.
Gets me now.
Still gets me now. I was like, dang, that's spooky.
Like, damn.
Too spooky.
Their fight was really, really good. It was so intense to see.
And they just brought the building down.
Yeah.
Essentially. That's how big it was. Well, everyone went loose because then because Green Goblin was giving his speech of like gods shouldn't have to like bow down. Like essentially
nothing's wrong with us. Like we don't need to be cured. Basically, that's
because they kept alluding to like Electro like wants to like leave and just do what he wants. Right.
Yeah.
So then he like actually takes out the reactor or whatever the machine that was supposed to reverse the Electro.
Yeah.
So then he leaves too. But then Sandman's been wanting to get out because he doesn't trust anyone,
and he wants to see his daughter, and
so it goes all to hell at this point.
Yeah. Big fight scene, and then while that's happening, Aunt May's kind of running around. She's trying to go down actually.
Yeah, to get the serum out.
To get the serum out. Yeah.
Meanwhile, like Spider-Man and Goblin are like fighting and just going down each level because he keeps punching them down.
He keeps punching down. It's god. It was so painful because I felt like if people stopped screaming that you could hear Peter.
You could hear the impacts. Yeah, you could hear. I think you would be able to, but everyone was like freaking out.
Yeah.
Or I was like, oh my god.
They were going through floors.
Yeah.
Floors in this fight.
They were doing like moves where he would just like drop Peter back, but it would slam it into the floor. I was like, man, that's insane.
It was so crazy. It was nice to see his little like machine, like little thing.
The glider thing. Or the glider.
Yeah.
The Goblin glider.
It was really cool. The next part is gonna be really sad. Dude, I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect it at all. Like in all honesty. But like they fought, but then like Green Goblin calls his glider in, right?
Yeah.
But it hits
Aunt May. Yeah.
But I thought, I think they faked it out really well though.
I think so too. I didn't see the pointy part hit her. I thought like the side, like just like
I thought it just hit her.
Hit her, like it just hit her. Like it didn't stab her. I didn't think about that. But like, Peter gets May, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that was my ass hit the ground." Like she said it so normally. I did not really think quick about it.
But right before that, like Green Goblin essentially like gets on the glider. He puts on like the hood.
The hood. Yeah.
Which I didn't realize that they did a really good job. He had like the green suit and everything, but the hood I never noticed was purple. So when he put it on, it became the OG look.
Oh, the OG look. Oh yeah.
Because then, I just didn't realize that really until cool. Because in the original movie, it was just a green. It was a green suit.
Yeah, green
but in this
suit.
one, they were like, "Hey, they're gonna put on like the hood," and it was ripped up and everything because of like the fights and everything. So it looked like the OG one for sure. And then he leaves. Because everything's gone to hell. Because the SWAT's there, police is there.
And then Peter and Aunt May have this like conversation. And then she said the famous line, if you're a Spider-Man fan and you hear this line.
This is the first time they said it. We were waiting for it. We weren't sure if they were ever going to say it. I
was not sure. The famous line was said. And then I think I knew our row knew that what was about to happen, because whenever someone says this line, they die.
The moment she said, like, the great power comes with great responsibility, I was like, that hit. But then I was like, wait, I think she's going to die. But then she didn't away. That's the thing. She kept walking.
Yeah.
But then she kept saying like, oh, I'm like woozy or what. I forgot what it was. I had like a headache or something.
She said she was having a hard time breathing.
Yeah.
And then that, like,
Or-
she kind of like fell.
She needs to take a deep breath, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden she just fell.
She fell. I think this was like another turning point where Peter's super conflicted with what he did.
Yeah.
Like super conflicted.
Because then he's like trying to talk to Aunt May, but then he realizes there's blood on his hand.
Blood, yeah. And
Yeah, because he knew. He had a feeling. It was so sad when he was calling out for help, but you knew SWAT was coming.
SWAT was coming in to get him.
Yeah. So it's really sad.
Happy saw May lie there and got
because
arrested.
Happy blocked him off for a bit and
Yeah.
just saw, and he was just like, you could tell he knew.
Yeah.
It was just really sad. And then Spider-Man leaves, but then they only said one. Then they reported like,
see what happens when
JJ,
Peter Parker, like, Peter Parker, he destroys everything, yada yada yada.
but only one casualty,
Yeah.
which is really sad.
I've never seen Peter Parker be so sad in this trilogy, like this sad.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say, I was like, huh?
And this
What?
beat up.
And we thought Tony Stark was the death that would affect them.
Yeah, no.
But no. This
It
was it.
It
I was like, yep.
May.
Because the heart. So talking on this one, I was talking to my fiance about it. It's really hard to know if Aunt May dies or not, because in some comic stories, in some lines, she does not.
She does
she survives.
not.
She does not. She's alive the entire time. It's always
Yeah.
Ben, Uncle Ben, that is the catalyst.
Yeah.
So in this one, it was actually a nice twist that
Where
it
Uncle
wasn't
Ben
Uncle Ben.
Already died. Like
He's already
pre-movie
passed.
started. Yeah. It was interesting.
It was also interesting, yeah, because it's interesting that Spider-Man never knew that phrase. Like the great responsibility was not like
No.
yeah.
It was not a phrase that he knew.
So this was like the first time he heard it, and it came from someone obviously that he cared about a lot because she took care of him so much.
I teared up. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up.
I was
I was ready to cry. I was like,
I was like, dang. It's like, this sucks.
I know.
I didn't see it coming.
I did not see it coming either.
But then that's essentially the Act 2, roughly.
Yeah, Act 2, because
Act 2 was weird because I feel like
it could have been split into two.
yeah, but the first two acts felt. But the way we're doing it is just Act 2 and 3. So
Yeah.
or
Like
the
we
next
said
one is the
earlier,
last arc.
What we said earlier, like this could have been a 4-act movie. It felt like a 4-act movie. We could have split it into a 4-act movie, but
Yeah.
it's easier to do it in the part. But what do you want to talk about next? What's the final
This is
act?
the part. This is what I've been wanting to talk about for a while. This episode's gonna be super long, like super long.
So take
All right.
pauses if you need to.
So Peter disappears. Ned and MJ debate on
Ned's
using the box,
house.
but they're like,
Yeah.
okay. Really funny part. Ned has the ring, or the ring
Oh.
from Doctor Strange,
His sling ring.
MJ
It's
has the
called
box, the sling ring. Yeah, the sling ring.
Yeah.
and he alludes to it at the very first part when he met Doctor Strange. He's like, "Oh, my family has been told that we have some magic in our family." Blah blah blah, all that stuff, and he has the ring on. So they're like, "Oh, let's try to find Peter."
Parker.
He's like, "I don't know where he is," and they're
Yeah.
doing this motion, and all of a sudden you see something flicker.
He does the Doctor Strange motion on accident. He's like,
Yeah.
I want to find Peter.
He's like, "Where is he?" I was like, "Oh," MJ sees it. He's like, "Do it again." He's like, "What?" And then they try to do it. He's like, "I want to find Peter."
And listen, this is the part where I almost shit in my pants and fell off the fucking floor.
Because when the ring opened, you see a silhouette.
You see someone real nice.
And you're like, "Oh, that's Spider-Man."
Yeah,
This is what we
Spider-Man.
weren't sure. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say it yet, but I could kind of tell the suit was off.
The suit was super off.
So then he jumps through, and you're like, "Wait."
It's.
And I forgot.
does
Did he have the
take
mask
off.
off? Okay, he had the mask
does.
on, right?
No, he had the
Okay.
mask on, then he takes it off.
Yeah, then he takes it off, and they're like, "That's not Peter."
But it is Peter.
But then he's like, "No, I'm Peter." So Andrew Garfield's face was like I felt good to see.
Everyone in the movie theater freaked,
People were
out.
screaming.
They were
oh my gosh.
shitting in
This
their
is-
pants.
This is why I missed midnight premieres.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was like, because I was freaking out too. I was like, yes, this is awesome.
No, and then MJ's like, Peter Parker? You're not Peter Parker. You're not our Peter Parker.
And she's like, prove that you're Spider. Essentially, prove that you're Spider-Man. At some
Spider-Man,
point.
yeah.
And I love that he's just like gets his hands up and just jumps and like latches onto the ceiling. And she's like, I need more proof. He's like, no, this isn't enough proof. She's like, no,
And
I
then
need
she's
more.
like,
He's like,
crawl.
no, this is. He's like, no, I'm not gonna crawl.
Oh
But
my
then
god.
Ned's mom,
Mom or
I forgot.
aunt?
I
I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
I can't remember.
She was
But
like,
she's
"Can you get the cobwebs in the corner?"
and of course him being nice. Is, oh yeah, sure, I can.
And he
Crawls
just, like...
across, wraps up, and gets it, and they're like, oh, thank you. Then
Andrew's Peter Parker freaked the fuck out there. I freaked out.
No, because then he learned that multiverse is a thing, and he started freaking out too.
You know,
He's
Andrew's
like, I'm just trying to get home.
Nerdy Peter Parker too. So he's like,
Yeah.
oh, the multiverse. And then Ned being a big mouth, he's like, oh, but the spell didn't work.
He's like, magic's real here?
Magic's real?
It was so good. Oh, like
it was
his
such
banter.
a good...
You can tell they each have. Okay, sorry. We're gonna skip to the next one. They try to find Peter
tried
again.
It again. And guess who popped up? Guess
Veronica? Who?
The original Spider-Man. Our original Spider-Man that we grew up with. Toby. Good old Toby pops in. Looking like a youth pastor.
Okay, really quick. I want to add this because I think my brother made a good point. He mentioned that, I don't know if he mentioned this to you, but just to put it out there, I thought it was really cool that this movie is so freaking meta, and it's about to get more meta from here on out.
Oh yeah.
In that Andrew Garfield appeared as Spider-Man, because at the time a lot of people said Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is better than his Peter.
Yeah, it is. Well,
but then Toby appears as Peter. Because everyone thinks his Peter's almost the best. If you were to do like, oh yeah, his Peter Parker is better than his Spider-Man persona.
Spider-Man.
Wow. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man persona is like better than
And that's how
most.
they popped into this movie.
And that's how they were revealed.
Yeah.
But I also love how everyone's like, or how Ned and MJ's like, why didn't you just tell us you're Peter Parker or like Spider-Man? And they're like, that defeats the purpose of having a secret identity.
Well, yeah, for him, yeah.
No, and Garfield too. Even Garfield was like,
yeah.
He's like, I would go. He's like, I don't have my ID. Yeah, because he's like, I can't prove it. I don't have my ID. That kind of defeats the purpose if I get caught.
And then Andrew's like, oh, but I just said that because then Toby was like, yeah, defeats the purpose.
He's like, oh, I just
Toby has not aged. Like,
you can kind of tell he got a little older, but I get what you mean.
Older, but he has like not aged.
He pulled a Paul Rudd somewhat. Paul Rudd and Gary.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to know how much money they gave both of these men. I know Toby would have been harder to get, in my opinion.
Right.
Toby would have been so much harder. I know Toby appreciated Spider-Man back then, but it was probably really hard for him to get anything else after Spider-Man. It has been, actually, because I don't think he has been acting a lot the last, like, 20
Because, yeah, it's like
years.
that typical stigma of, like, having that one role. But,
But you know what?
It's super hype because they then do, like, a thing.
Hype.
They do like their
little like
confrontation thing, like they like shot webs at each other, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool!"
It was great to see both of their Spider-Man in Tom's movie. This is Tom's universe.
Yep, it was just so
like,
fun to see.
Oh no! But then you realize in the back of your head, you're like, "Oh, the multiverse is real. Oh, there's more than one Peter Parker."
And it explains why each one is so different in their like scenarios, their like upbringing, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's different because multiverse theory.
Yeah.
But so now like they're like, oh, because Toby was like, I've been trying to find this Spider-Man
since I've been here. Like they both have, but Toby was the one that was like actually actively trying. Plus he wasn't in his Spider-Man suit, so could have just gone around. He just walk around. And then they find Peter. Well, now we have to say Tom's Peter. Find Tom at the top of their high school rooftop, right? That was their high school. Yeah, high school rooftop. He's being like a little emo kid.
Mopey. Yeah, he's being mopey.
Yeah, he was being mopey.
But typical Peter Parker fashion.
Typical, yeah.
It's like mopey.
They have their little therapy session. Because then you see
they all talk about like it was so funny. He's like, we know what's going on. He's like, and then Tom's like, you don't know what I'm going through right now. I'm like, but as the viewer, we're like, yeah, they do.
They lost both of them lost their Uncle Bens and more. Andrew a little more.
This is where not that's what I was gonna say. But Andrew didn't say Uncle Ben as like a reason.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah.
it was really interesting to see like how Toby says Uncle Ben, but then Andrew says I lost Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, he
because his issue with, or I guess his big hurt is Gwen Stacy.
It was Gwen. It was Gwen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understandable. Little therapy session. It was really cool when it was like Toby and Andrew was at the top.
At the top, and they just jumped down.
They jumped down. Oh,
it was beautiful.
It
was so good.
Oh.
And they're all like right there.
Yeah. It was weird to see 3 Spider-Man on the screen. Very weird. My head still can't wrap around that. I saw 3.
It was so surreal.
I saw 3 of them. But yeah.
But I was going to say, it was interesting that like we got to hear a little bit more about what happened to them later, like after the movies, because like Andrew Garfield said, like after Gwen Stacy's death, he tried to do his best, but then he started not holding back his punches as much.
Yeah.
Which means like he started being more vengeful and angry. Which I was like, that makes sense for his, because he was more of an angry Spider-Man at times, or more emotional.
But then Toby
yeah.
alludes that him and MJ are okay. Because they were complicated. They were complicated. Let me just... Yeah, but he alludes that him and his MJ, he actually said it. He's like, yeah, my MJ and I, we're okay now. We're, complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, because now they're in the science, because now they've had the therapy session. They're trying to figure out how to cure
now they
everyone.
need to fix the vials to cure everyone. So they're all 3 are in the lab. They're just like...
This is when it was cool, because they're all smart. Yeah, they're gonna figure stuff out.
So smart. I just I could feel that Toby, the actor himself, he was just kind of laughing at Tom. He was staring at Tom intently. He was like, that was me like 20 years ago.
Yeah, you could tell. It was really funny.
I thought it was so funny, because he's like now the dad. He's like Dad Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's like the senior.
He's like the senior Spider-Man.
Yeah,
oh god, it was so it
was so cool to see.
It was really.
But
cool
anyway, but then they figure out how to do everything, and I love how they're about the whole Ned thing. He's like, so do you guys have a best friend? He's like, and then Toby, I had a best friend, and then he essentially giving like the whole dark story. He's like, he died in my arms, and everything. Tried to kill me, died in my arms, and everything. And Ned's like, oh, I was, and then Andrew Garfield's like, oh.
Andrew's like, it's okay, buddy.
And he's like, oh no, because then Ned is like slightly awkward with Tom.
Yeah.
And then Ned at the end when they're about to all leave, Ned's like, I'm gonna be a good friend. I won't try to kill you or anything. Andrew,
it's okay.
Okay, man.
Buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then MJ and Tom had like a little moment, and then you could it pans to like Andrew, because Gwen.
Yeah.
And then, it was cute. It was a cute moment for Tom and Zendaya. It just reminds you what Andrew went through.
Yes.
And it was just like, oh no, here we go again. I fell off my seat seeing those 3 in my seat.
When was that sequence when one of them was like, oh yeah, talked about how like, oh, someone fell off the... Oh wait, no, that was later, right?
Oh, it was later, I think. Whatever year.
Or like, and MJ asked like, oh, someone's like, oh, did you ever fall off the building and someone ever saved you? It's like, I hope, or it's like, yeah, my MJ fell off something, and she's like, oh, I hope that won't happen to me.
Oh yeah.
I forgot where that happened.
I forgot when that
really
happened,
funny.
but it was really funny. Yeah.
Anyway.
So basically, they have a plan to like lure into the villains. But then the funny scene was that Andrew was talking to Toby. He was like, so what are we going to do about this whole looking like a youth pastor comment?
And then Toby's like, excuse me? He's like, what? Has the suit. And we're like, oh, that makes sense.
It's great. And then both in the lab before they're leaving, Tom and Andrew realize that Toby's webs...
came from him, not from like a machine or like the wrist bracelet thing.
Yeah, because his are a little faster than theirs. Because like he was like, oh, and then he like webs to like
he just shoots it,
and then they were just like, what?
They both freaked out.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa, what just happened?
And I think that's a nod to the audience not remembering that I did not remember that Toby.
Oh, I remembered. It
I
came
was like,
that he had like a little.
it like came into
slit.
yeah, and I was like, oh, that's because
it's
Toby just does this.
Because then he had to like that was the explanation of like he adds the pressure.
He adds the pressure
to do that.
Yeah.
And then let's shoot out. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so funny because then Andrew and Tom were like, huh? What? Where?
What? Man, that was so funny. Because then now they have to go to this. They lured all the villains
to the Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Which also had the Captain.
Yeah. Because they were rebuilding it to have the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
That was awesome. I was like, yes.
I know, right? So, Tom's like FaceTiming the world. He's like, hey, we're here.
I'm here, cough, cough.
I'm here, cough, cough. But yeah, so this whole like last bit is like all fight. Lots of fighting.
But essentially it was like, but right before the fight, they all talk to each other.
Well, Tom was asking the questions.
They had a Spider-Man talk, like legit. Yeah. Like they were like talking about like, oh, like what was it? Oh, they were like talking about like, oh, it's cool. Like Andrew Garfield's like, oh, it's cool. I've always wanted to have brothers, and I was like, oh, that hurts.
I know, because he lost a lot of his.
He's lost some of his. He was like, I've always wanted.
Yeah, and then Toby had to crack his back because Toby, the actor, had back problems in Spider-Man 2. He was almost replaced by Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, almost replaced. And then didn't. He, like, sucked it up for the rest of his trilogy. And so it was really funny because Andrew cracked
That's what I was saying. It was so meta. This movie became super meta.
Super meta, yeah. But then, good old Tom asking the real questions here.
It's like, how does your web thing work?
Asking Toby,
does it come out of other places?
If his webs come out of other places.
It was, Andrew's like, yeah, does what? And he's like, oh no, I just kind of, it's like breathing. I just kind of do it. Or how does it work?
Yeah,
Does it ever come out of other places? He's just like, huh?
And then the other two were like talking. They were like, oh, sometimes you have to like string up R's. Like it's hard to like.
We had to go to he's like, I had to go to the lab to create mine. Oh my gosh.
It was very like
Spider. It's like the most Spider-Man. It's like super meta Spider-Man conversation. Yeah. And then they started talking about like, oh, who's your coolest fight?
Like
and then And then like Toby alludes to the Venom because he's I fought like an alien thing before.
Yeah.
And then Peter, I fought an alien too in space.
He was purple.
He was purple. And then Garfield, oh, I'm super lame. I want to fight an alien.
Oh no, but he's not lame. He's amazing.
Oh yeah, Toby gives him a pep talk. He's like, no, you're amazing, dude. I was like,
you say that. You say that. He was like, say it with me. You're amazing.
I love that whole sequence. I was just like gushing. I was like, this is beautiful. This is all I wanted. I was hoping for this. I'm so glad I could see it now. Seeing all their interactions was just so good. I was just like, this is. Because everyone always talks about what if these like
these three were together,
not just characters, right? Yeah. Everyone always wants other characters. This is why we like the Avengers. This is why we always like this stuff. So this moment was like one of those. It was bigger because it wasn't just MCU, but it was like beyond that. It was like older movies. It's like if you saw like other Batmans talk to each other. This is about that.
This is that. Yeah, like a round table of other Batmans.
Yeah. So it was just all the Spider-Man talking to each other. It was just
beautiful. It was great. They all suit up. They were all in their suits.
Because then all the villains come in.
All the villains come in.
When they swung in, they landed. Okay, did you see that one online though?
No.
I saw it, but I thought it was fan made. So I didn't even think. I saw something like it. I saw something like it.
I saw nothing except the trailer. That was it. The trailer.
Actually, no. I didn't see. I think I just saw like a fan made thing, like legit. And someone was like, "This would be cool to see." I was like, "That would be awesome to see."
Everyone was nutting because you see three of them swinging and flying, and then the moon is behind them, and then their silhouettes, and then they drop, and it was
superhero landing. Superhero got the Spider-Man pose and everything.
It was pose, and then you see it was Sandman, Lizard, and Electro that like popped up.
Yeah.
Toby kicked the shit out of Lizard. Oh my god, the trailer, it did not have him. But then you see Lizard's head just move.
Oh, it got leaked. That part got leaked.
Yeah.
And then, his head moved, and everyone's like, why did that happen?
Why? Yeah. No, Toby kicked the shit out of the Lizard. It was like he did his move, and he's like the Spider-Man that like flips a lot. He does like the flips. So he like was flipping in the air, kicked the shit out of the Lizard.
I love how they each took on one of them too. Try to to cure them and all that. Oh, in the lab, it was really cool how like they each knew, were like, oh, I know how to deal with these people because I've done it before.
Because they're villains.
Yeah, because Garfield's like, oh yeah, I've handled Lizard before. I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. I remember like they like looked at him and was like, no big deal.
Yeah, but like they were each fighting their own, but then they couldn't figure out how to be a team.
They also kept like interrupting each other because they're like, it's like, oh, they ran into each other's webs, or like they kept like bumping into each, like it was just really funny because
Andrew ran into Tom's web.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And it was like,
and then something else. They're trying to coordinate. It's like, oh, get me this. No, get me that. Get me this now. And they're like, I can't.
I know. And then there was like a little pause in like the fighting. You know, they had the little round table thing, and then Toby was like, I was calling out for Spider-Man 2. And then Andrew was like, I'm not 2. I was calling out for 2. And then Toby was like, I'm not 2.
And they had to name. Oh, then Tom's like, okay, we gotta like order something about, I'm number 1 because I've actually had some team experience. I've been a part of the Avengers. And Toby's like, that's great.
What is that?
What's that?
And then Andrew's like, is that a band? Are you in the band?
Are you in a band? Oh my god. Like, it's so good to know. I'm like, yeah, there's so many differences that it's like, yeah, they wouldn't know what the Avengers were. And then that's when Tom was like, oh my god, you guys don't have the Avengers in your...
And then he goes, I'm Peter 1, Toby's Peter 2. Andrew goes, I'm Peter 3.
I'm 3, I get it.
I'm 3.
But that's also meta, because some people are like, oh yeah, that's usually the fan favorites. Like,
the fan favorites.
How they're rated as a Spider-Man. Yeah. Like their series, at least. Like, people love Tom Holland. People then also love Toby.
And then Peter, and then Andrew.
Andrew's is usually like last as a series.
Yeah. All this stuff. Andrew says, I love you. Tom and Toby say thank you at the same time.
Oh, by the way, I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They made Toby's Spider-Man, Peter Parker, a lot sassier in this one to keep up with Andrew and Tom.
To keep up with both of them, because they had to.
They had to.
I love how they took off their masks a lot more too, because they had to.
They had
to differentiate. But honestly, their suits were not that hard to keep up with. But
no,
I get.
It wasn't.
But their tech, because only the Tom's has the eye thing.
The eye thing.
While the other two, they don't have that, so they have to take it off.
I could tell which one was Tom because the eye kept like switching.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just it was great to see all three of them just yapping away, like nothing happened. But yeah, they
take out each person, they cure them all essentially.
Yeah.
I think each respective Spider-Man cured. Like, I think
no, it was.
It was, right?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Yeah, because like Toby cured Sandman, Garfield cured
Lizard and Electro.
And
then
Electro
though. He was like, because this is a point where Electro finds out Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Like,
yes,
in this moment being cured. And Jamie Foxx, who
makes good points,
does make good points. He was like, wow, I didn't think you being unveiled like this, like,
he's like, what do you mean? You're from, what was it? You're from Queens.
You're from Queens. You like save poor people. Like,
you do all this stuff. I thought you'd be black. And I was like, Garfield's like, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, and then Jamie's like, I hope there's a black Spider-Man out there.
And we're all like,
we
yes,
were all
there
like,
is. There is, man.
There is.
You
there
don't.
is.
Yes.
Oh man, Jamie Foxx in that one line, that was so.
Jamie
funny.
Foxx in this movie was really good.
It was really.
He definitely
good.
ad-libbed a lot of stuff, and it was like,
he did.
It was just.
It
Perfect.
saved his character from what it was. It like saved him.
Which they did allude to that too. They're like Lizard was like, "Oh man, you look different. You used to have like a comb over and buck teeth and glasses." And Jamie Foxx was like, "Shut up."
It's not me. It's not me. But then Green Goblin. Oh, Green Goblin. So basically everyone's cured, except for Green Goblin. He's like the final person to like not be cured and whatnot. And there's obviously Tom's a little. Very furious over Green Goblin. So
yeah, because he wants to kill him.
But then
like the other two were like, no, we just need to cure him.
Yeah. The sequence where Tom's MJ falling off the building, and then Tom trying to save her is the most.
This was I think this was edited in the trailer because it showed that he was trying to reach her.
Yeah, and it cuts.
But it cut. Yeah. But in here, he tries to reach her, but then gets pushed away by Green Goblin. Yeah, and we're like, oh no.
And then, a woman has to always fall down a building with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But guess what? She's saved. She's saved by Andrew.
Dude, his Spider-Man definitely got to redeem. Like, that was definitely something that bothered him forever.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that was so nice because you could tell like the moment he caught her, she was happy, but he was like
teared up. He cried.
Because he's like, I did it. Like I saved at least someone. At least I was able to save someone.
Yeah.
Because he probably didn't feel that way at all. Because he couldn't save Gwen Stacy's dad. He couldn't save Gwen. So it was definitely like all that stuff. Like he was definitely in a downer moment.
I think it fulfilled Andrew's Peter Parker a lot.
Yes, I think it did too.
It did. And it's just like, man, Green Goblin, this man is like a menace.
Did you notice in this one, in his, we were talking about the classic outfit, but in this one the hood like was longer.
Right?
Yeah. So it had like the legit classic look.
Yeah, that was a good look. Yeah, it's just like Green Goblin's like a complete menace.
But then they had like a fight. Yeah, he is actually the like Batman's Joker. He's like the Joker for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like he is Spider-Man's Joker essentially.
He messed up Toby Spider-Man.
Yep.
He messed up Tom Spider-Man. He messed up two of them.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I think that when Tom became like bloodlust killer looking Spider-Man, I was like,
the Spider-Man, like the other two saw and they jumped. Man, but it
was so good.
Because then Toby stopped because he was about to kill him. He was about to kill Tom. Tom was about to kill the Green Goblin, and then all of a sudden Toby stops him.
It was crazy.
But he gets stabbed.
He gets stabbed by Green Goblin, but then Andrew throws a cure to Tom.
Tom catches it and then stabs Osborn to cure him. Then he gets cured.
Yeah. It's crazy. This whole last sequence is crazy.
Because then he's like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just nonstop. It was
nonstop.
That was it.
Because then Osborn realizes that Toby, who's laying down, is his Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you doing here? Like, he was basically like, what's going on? Like,
he's like, what happened?
What's happening?
Yeah.
It was... Yeah, this last half was just crazy.
Oh, I love when like they run up to like Toby Spider-Man. They're like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been stabbed before." And then Andrew Garfield's like, "Oh, okay, good. Okay, awesome." And I was like,
"What an Andrew Peter Parker thing to say."
He's like, "Oh, good, you've been through this before. Perfect, and you survived, I guess."
And you survived. Yeah, and then Strange comes back, and because Ned did his whole little thing.
Oh yeah, that was happening throughout the fight because they were trying to get the box away from everyone, and Strange is back. But then they realized there's a rift happening. The
little purple.
He's like, they're all trying to come in, and that's when this was when the framing again of trailers. I told like our friend because he's like he doesn't usually watch trailers. Yeah, I'm like, see, even I watched the trailer, but I could not piece together what was happening. You can't tell. You never can tell, and it's always just more exciting to see.
Yeah.
And it's like this moment is like, oh, they're all coming in. You don't know who. And I was like I want to rewatch this and see if they actually put some Easter egg silhouettes of people that we
I think they
could
did.
know.
They did. There were some distinct.
There are some very distinct figures, and I'm like,
there.
I want to see it. I need to see it.
So Strange is like, I need to fix this because the purple looked like the purple that Kang in Loki broke.
Oh, it did.
No,
it kind of did.
was. But also,
I also
do you think this is the same time that Wanda broke everything? So Wanda, Loki,
know.
this like, do you? This could okay. We'll talk about later. We'll talk about later.
We
but
need,
like,
yeah. It could be.
It could be. Yeah.
We don't know.
But this is when Strange is like, gotta fix this shit.
I love how Toby was like, he's on the ground. He's like, what's happening? Am I
Yeah.
actually dying?
No,
oh God, am I actually dying?
Andrew's like, nope, this is happening.
This is happening. Oh, okay. And then now we know what the conclusion has to be with all of this.
Is that everyone needs to forget about Peter Parker. Specifically,
how it all started from the beginning because he couldn't get into college. I'm sorry. That was like the one thing I was like, that is the most like.
I know.
This is the most coming of age story.
It really is. And it's just like Peter. I can't say Peter because there's 3 of them right now. Tom.
Yeah, focus on
Tom realized that he had to sacrifice his friends, like everything.
He had to sacrifice just everyone knowing him.
Everyone knowing him. Knowing him as Peter Parker. Not
even Strange was hesitant, like he wasn't even gonna do it. He's like we tried to figure this out. No, we need Peter's like, no, we have to. And he's
because
like,
him and Strange are friends. Like they went through a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. So Strange had this moment. You could tell he wanted to cry because he was like,
he was tearing up. He was tearing up.
I don't want to do this.
Man.
But yeah, he had to say his goodbyes basically because Strange was like, it's gonna happen. It's about to happen right now. So he said goodbye to Toby and Andrew, the 2 Spider-Man.
They talk about great power, all
the great power.
Then they're like, "Oh, that's what we do. We're the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." I was like, "Yes,
you are the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Damn it!"
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Then he says goodbye to Ned and MJ. I'm so sad.
It was pretty sad.
He says, I love you, or she says, I love you to him.
And then he was about to say, she's like, don't tell me when you see me.
And she's like, make me remember again, yada, yada, yeah, all that stuff. But yeah, so basically how this ends is that Peter
has a reset.
Reset.
They reset Peter Parker, and I actually think it's awesome.
It's really good, because he goes to the cafe that MJ works. Ned walks in. You kind of think that Strange didn't do exactly what Peter said, because it looks like MJ was about to be like, hey.
Oh, yeah. You know? And then you see Ned come in, though.
Yeah, you see Ned come in. He ignores Peter. Peter, like, is rehearsing this script to tell MJ.
Tell him, tell MJ.
Yeah, tell MJ that what they really are. But then I think he realized that they were better off without him right now. Like right now.
And this is when my fiance was curious. She's like, do you think he wants to make it organic? I was like, I don't even think that was the issue. Or that was in his mind. I think the moment he saw the scar, he's like, oh, how is that? She's like, oh, it doesn't hurt now. Like, it was like essentially saying that she's feeling good. Yeah. Or she's feeling better. She feels better.
Yeah.
And I think that's when he realizes, oh, this is for the best. I shouldn't
like
get them to wrap up in my life again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, basically, Peter is reset. Peter's living alone.
Dude, he gets his own apartment.
Yeah.
That apartment looks like Toby's apartment.
I know. Almost. That is
run down. I'm glad they went back to that because I'm like, okay, yeah, this is how Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
He's like the poor man's hero.
Yep.
He doesn't have anything crazy. He literally lives like everyone.
Yeah. No one knows that Peter Parker's Spider-Man.
Yep.
Like.
At all.
Peter
Parker almost doesn't exist, which is kind of.
It's scary.
It feels that way because no one knows him, but he does exist. It's not like he doesn't exist, but it's just like no one knows.
It's just people don't know him like personally.
Yeah. Because it's like they know a Spider-Man and that's it.
That's it.
They just don't know that Spider-Man. He's. Yeah.
They don't know it's a 17-year-old kid named Peter Parker. That's it.
Which is crazy. This is when it's hard to tell, time-wise, how much this has affect previous movies. Because in a sense, if no one ever knew he was Peter Parker, like for instance, did Tony just recruit Spider-Man, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
And then how deep does this go? Obviously, this is not like they were just trying to say no. Everyone doesn't know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But it's just crazy. Like if you start thinking about it more, you're like, ooh, how much got changed? But it seems like everything technically still gets back to its point. It's just probably just Spider-Man versus Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. He goes to his aunt's grave.
Yeah.
Sees Happy. Happy does not know him, which is like super sad.
That's when it also hits too.
Yeah,
I was like,
it
dang.
really hits. He's like, it goes back to Peter Parker being alone. Like Andrew's Peter Parker, Toby's Peter Parker. Like it goes back to the root of who Spider-Man really is. He's poor, alone, and just being a hero. That's it.
Yeah. He does. They said it too. Like they were so used to doing things on their own, they're not used to working as a team. Yeah. Well, this Spider-Man's always been. Well, Tom Spider-Man has been in a team for a long time.
He's got nanotechnology. He had Tony's help. Like he
always had the support of like MJ and Ned. Yeah. For a long time too.
Yeah. And it's just.
But now.
It's nice to see that sewing machine.
Because he made something new.
He made a new suit.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, no more nanotech. It's just straight up a suit now.
Yeah.
I know, like one of our friends, we were talking about it after, and he was like, he didn't like how metallic-y the blue looked. But I think my guess right now is more. I think that's just their. I don't know if it's a for sure thing, but I think it was their way to show the shade of blue.
Yeah, I think the shade.
Because all the other blues have been darker or like brighter or something. But this one, the contrast looks like the OG suit though.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like the OG blue, OG red. OG contrast. I couldn't see it. I tried to see it. I couldn't see if the back had like a big, like, like the classic look of the big spider circle.
Spider circle?
Like
I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell. I really was hoping that they flash it at the end, but it didn't. They flashed like the mask.
The mask. Yeah, no. This movie was a roller coaster. Still a high. I think we're both still on a high because this was a lot to unpack. A lot.
It's just a lot to be excited for.
Yeah.
And again, like I say that it's one of my top 3, but I want to sit I need to sit on it more because this is definitely riding off the high.
Oh yeah, it totally.
Of like all these things happening because I had that high with BVS is a totally another thing. I don't think this is still a good movie. No matter what, I think this is an amazing, awesome movie.
Yeah.
1,000 out of 10, 10,000 out of 10.
100%. And that's
10 billion%.
10 billion%. If you know that, comment. No, just kidding. But as always, Marvel's got to have 2 credits.
They knocked it out of the park on this one, though.
They knocked it out.
And they had 2 end credits.
2 end credits.
First one.
The first one that hit, I was just like, Tom Hardy. You're coming in a little too close here, buddy.
But okay, so it's cool because we both haven't seen it, but we knew that at the post credit for Venom 2. Venom 2. Spoilers if you haven't seen Venom 2. Spoiler.
Well,
but essentially, if you've seen it now, it's because he got teleported, or teased that he got teleported at the end of his movie. Yeah. To this MCU.
And the end credit in Venom is that he sees Spider-Man talking. On the TV. Yeah.
Or like this is when it got revealed, I think.
Yeah, it got revealed. Yeah. So that's the end of Venom. And so in this one, this Venom's sitting in a bar just talking to himself.
Or talking to the bartender. But Venom's commentating.
Venom's just commenting like the ass that he is.
he's commenting like a huge head ass.
Yeah, he really is. But so then funny. Tom, there's this whole conversation between the bartender and Tom, or Eddie. Venom. No, Eddie. Eddie, yeah.
I was like, you're confusing me now too. I was like, Tom?
No, yeah. Eddie.
You mean Eddie?
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, there's a purple alien on this.
There's a rich man that can fly around.
Yeah,
there's other people with power. It was so funny. I was so like, funny. It was so good.
He got zapped though.
But not all of him got zapped.
There's a little part of him that didn't get zapped.
That symbiote is still alive and well in this universe.
AKA hinting the fact that this Venom is in the MCU, gonna meet Tom's Peter Parker.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
Straight. Oh. It's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be a ride with Spider-Man.
Really quick, did you notice how I think Doctor Strange said it? He said there were 6 anomalies. I think he said there were 6 anomalies. So it alluded to it was supposed to be the Sinister 6.
Yeah.
But there were only 5.
5.
Because I think, and this is me and my brother talking. He posted like someone speculating how technically this Venom was supposed to be Toby's Venom, but because again favorites and stuff, it ended up pulling the wrong Venom, and it pulled Eddie Brock. This Eddie Brock.
That's so funny.
But that's why, because he wasn't the correct one, he didn't get pulled into the right area. Yeah. He got pulled into like Mexico. So
it's crazy.
I thought that was really cool.
That was so funny. That was really cool.
I was like, oh, it could have been. It was almost Sinister 6.
Yeah,
but it
wasn't. Yeah, 5.
But 5. It's okay.
Yeah,
it's fine.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
And then there was a surprise teaser trailer.
Yeah,
for
straight up trailer for the credit, the last credit.
I mean, it's showing some interesting stuff.
It was straight up a trailer. Oh
my
gosh.
Yeah. It was.
Multiverse of Madness is gonna be the next craziest thing.
It's gonna break the movie theater website.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think that. This is my prediction now, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think it's gonna break. I think people will be interested because there weren't that many. I don't know that many huge Doctor Strange fans.
That's true.
That's why.
There's a lot.
I think people
will
be interested now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what?
If someone did they post that online?
Crazy. No.
Did they post it online? Right? No. It's probably gonna give it a bit.
It's gonna give it. I think they're gonna wait like a week or 2 before they post.
Yeah.
That. But good old Wanda, coming back.
It's so funny because one of our friends, he asked me later. He's like, "So I'm gonna watch WandaVision now. Is that how long is that?" I was like, because he hasn't seen it, so he didn't know that it's a big thing. So.
No, there's Wanda. There's an interesting character.
The villain is the most Doctor Strange. I don't think it's him though. No, I don't think it's him. I doubt it. It's him. Okay, it depends on how he becomes that.
Yeah.
Should we just say it?
Basically an evil Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, because you're right. Technically, it was an evil one in What If, but I just don't know. We just don't know if that's actually him.
If they're going,
if they're going to use the same
continuous
person.
like.
Again, don't know what's going on, but
you know what? I'm excited. I'm hyped.
All right, overall. Because we're at how long now?
We are at a very long time.
Yes. I know you wanted to talk to more. Is there did you want to do some quick Easter eggs? Is that what you wanted to do?
Yes. You want to do some quick Easter eggs? Did you see anything that was interesting besides Matt Murdock?
Besides Matt Murdock? Maybe there were some things, but not sure. Just spitball it real quick.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The little machine was called Doom-E. Doom-E? Yeah, Doom-E. And it was in the Iron Man trilogy. So that's a nod to Tony Stark.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a... Oh, Nick Fury is off planet.
Yeah, they did mention that.
That means that Nick Fury remembers Peter Parker. Because...
Wait, no. Did they say that after? No, they said that before. That was during the interrogation.
No, I know. But Nick Fury's off planet. Meaning that Strange only zapped...
No, this affects the universe, I feel like.
Oh, shit. That's true.
No,
Someone on the internet said that Nick Fury would remember.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah. No, but Nick Fury's off planet, which alludes to Nick Fury's
the sword
TV show.
Yeah, sword. I think, right?
Yeah.
So
MJ's real name is not Michelle Jones. It's Michelle Jones Watson.
Which means
it's a nod to the MJ Watson comic version.
Comic version.
Yeah, comic version. Yeah. Feast, where May worked, the charitable organization, it links to Mr. Negative.
Yep, Mr. Negative. Yep. And because that was shown, because I played the video game and they showcased Feast a lot.
Yeah.
They focused on Mr. Negative and Feast a lot, so it was really cool to see.
The line, I'm something of a scientist myself. That was a memeable line because everyone says I'm something of blank myself. So super happy that William said that. Captain America shield.
Oh, there's one that I did notice. It was really quick. At the beginning when Peter was going to school, the reporter girl, the school reporter.
Oh, the school
was saying
reporter.
like, oh, she said something. Go get him, Tiger. Or I guess, and I was like, yeah, go get.
Yeah.
Like that's the MG. That's like the MJ line
The
typically.
MJ line, yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I think that's it.
That's it.
That's all I saw.
Cool.
But yeah.
Overall thoughts?
Super great movie.
Super hyped.
Super hyped. I would see it again. Honestly.
Yeah. For sure.
To see everything.
Mm-hmm.
Rating this at like 1,000 out of 10. 10,000 out of 10 if I could.
It's so good.
It breaks the scale.
Breaks the scale. It was just, it gave everything that we've been wanting. I will say.
Exactly.
Every time someone asks how was the movie, I was like, all I can say is I can die happy.
Oh yes, 100%.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Sorry that this was really long, but we wanted to go unpack everything, so we did.
And we wanted to make, we sometimes do some summary, I know we talk about it. If you've seen the movie, it's just nice to go through, but it helps us jog our memories of like random things that come up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we highly recommend this movie. Sometime
I'll watch it again.
Oh, it is actually our last episode in 2021 on Mondays. So this is our last episode for 2021. Or yeah, officially our last episode. Hawkeye's actually our last episode. We will see you in 3 weeks. Oh, in a month.
We'll figure it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, sometime.
Yeah,
January, we're gonna start.
Yeah,
back up.
in January. So
try to plan out some stuff.
Play some
You'll
games.
see. You hear more about that. You hear more about the plans. Veronica likes to jump the gun a lot.
I want to play some games.
She lies. She's a liar.
I'm not.
But
everyone, thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and Twitch at NgoVo Convo, NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, don't forget that like button and notification bell to get updates for when we upload, which is every Monday, 7 a.m. If we have side stuff, it's on Fridays at 7 a.m. Yeah, we're going to figure that out. But those 2 days, really important for next year, for us in general. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a big red button. The like button's right there. Don't hit the dislike button. Let us know.
I can't see the number anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true. Let us know how we're doing. What do you want to see next? We're trying to plan 2022 and beyond. We want to make sure you enjoy everything.
Yeah.
This is going to be this probably is going to be our longest episode. So,
yeah.
We actually do short episodes, like 40 minutes. That's it. But this was long because
we say that.
Yeah.
We say that.
Yeah, we say that, and then it's going to be like an hour each time
It's
next year. It's fine. I'm a liar. Okay, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Talk to you next year. Have a good Christmas. Have a good New Year.
Have a happy holidays.
Have happy holidays.
Happy New Year's.
Happy Hanukkah. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.